Hello everyone, Shawn, Kenney here, playing some more Kerbal Space Program 0.22 with that space update. And my continuing mission to try and get some science done on one of Kerbin's moons and actually get it back to Kerbin. The last episode we made it to the Mun, but we're not making it back. Unfortunately, Jeb has been lost to the Space Kraken. He's missing in action after some kind of bug. I don't know, he collided with the ground and wasn't even that terribly fast, but apparently he went to a 9999999 meters somewhere under the planet, and his capsule got shot out into out of the sphere of influence of Kerbin. So I had to cancel that mission. Unfortunately, we got a little bit of science as far as crew reports that he sent back, but unfortunately, Bill's up now. He's next on deck for the Moonshot Mark II. In this particular case, though, I think we're going to try and go to Minmus, see how it works here. As you see, I've done some redesign, switched it all to liquid fuel rockets. It's a little more torque, hopefully a little more efficient. What happens if you have a fairly large payload with those solid rocket boosters is they get going really fast, and the heavier part of your craft, which lies above them, doesn't want to get moving quite as fast. So there's a little bit of inertia fight there, I think, sometimes, and I was breaking up a few of my designs trying to redesign this. But this, so far, has seemed stable. I haven't really fully tested it, as in I haven't actually gotten anywhere with it yet. I just made sure it didn't explode upon ignition, and that it would more or less fly straight, until we got to about 10,000 meters or so. I was trying with the engines that didn't have any thrust vectoring, thinking they'd be a little more efficient. All we're doing is going straight up, but I believe just having the one antenna on there is just enough of a weight imbalance that it was causing a bit of havoc. It was really no control that I had over that ship, so I switched them all over to these thrust vectoring ones. They're not quite as efficient, but they're definitely a lot more controllable. So I guess I'm going probably a little faster than I really need to be this low in the atmosphere. We're just about done with that booster stage, though, so this is good. This is going to get us right up to the point where we're going to want to start our gravity turn. And so I'm just going to keep going straight up, and so we can lose all these bits and pieces, and we won't be trying to turn while they're attached to us. There you go. See ya. Alright, there goes our booster section. Now, these ones don't have thrust vectoring. They're a little more efficient, but now that the ship is a lot lighter, we are able to control it more or less with just the SAS that's built into the command pod, because of course we have not researched any SAS modules. And this is quite a change for me, because pretty much every ship I ever made in Kerbal Space Program, one of the first things I did was throw on an SAS module, because it made everything a lot easier to control, trying to hold on to headings, all that kind of stuff. But let's see how we're doing here. Let's check out the map. What's our apoapsis? It's about 26, so we're going to need to do a bit of burning at about 45 degrees here to get our apoapsis up just out of the atmosphere. Ideally just over 70 kilometers is what I'm going for. And then we'd be able to take full advantage. Then we just have to circularize our orbit, and we can take full advantage of the Oberth effect, being close into the Kerbin and using it as a slingshot. Hopefully we won't have to burn nearly as much fuel to get to Minmus. Pretty sure we have enough fuel. It really doesn't take a whole lot to land and get home from Minmus. Once you're in the sphere of influence, it's just getting out there. So there we go. That's one stage down. How are we doing? We're up to about 30 kilometers. So I'm gonna have to keep this at about a 45-degree angle. I definitely want more altitude. And now that we've shed some weight, we should have a little bit more get up and go. We're still definitely accelerating. And so that apoapsis is just nicely moving ahead of me. That's what I want to see. I really don't want to be catching up with it. It means that ultimately we're going to start going down again. And down is not the direction I want to be going right now. We're going up, skywards. And how are we doing on that fuel? Just halfway done those tanks. And this stage is probably just about going to get me into orbit. So most of our translation is going to be on these tanks. Although they're pretty fuel efficient. I have lander legs on them. I don't know if we're going to land with them or not. We'll see. We'll see how things go, I guess. So we're at about 40 kilometers. Still got to get going. Need to get higher. For the most part, we're out of the atmosphere, but there's still enough atmosphere here that it will slowly drag us back down to Kerbal, so we don't want that. And at 50, really looking, got to get that up to about 70. Oh, there we go. Might as well. Time to burn the last of these booster stages. And I'm going to get this right up. I'm going to maybe just bring it a shade below 70, because as we start our burn to circularize our orbit, this apoapsis will raise up a little bit. So we just get right on our path, on the node here that will keep us going in the direction we are. Maybe we can do a crew report. It's not worth a whole lot, but we can transmit it because we're going to be burning some engines, so we'll regenerate that power. And look, with these 4 batteries, we do have a fair amount of power. I am liking that. It does last much longer than it seemed to before. Alright, I think now would be a good time to start trying to circularize our orbit. There we go. As you can see, that's going to be raising, and hopefully that's going to be widening out, and we'll get a nice circular orbit, and then we'll be able to plan our mission to Minmus, a planet or a moon that I know that I can land on fairly easily. It doesn't require nearly as much fuel as the Mon does to get to land or to take off. And just a little bit more fuel to get out there, but not even really all that much. Really, if you're new to Kerbal Space Program, the Mun is definitely tempting. It's sort of the, well, of course you got to go to your main moon first, right? Well, sure, but in this particular case, we have 2 moons, so I'm just going to time accelerate a little bit, because I don't want to get this atmosphere. We're already up to about 80 kilometers, so don't really need to get that any higher. As you can tell, the music has started. We are in space. And we'll just get that periapsis up to about 70. Oh, there we go. Totally out of the atmosphere. We have a stable orbit, and we even have just a little bit of fuel left in that other tank. I'm going to kill our SAS for now, and zoom out and target Minmus. Alright, how are we going to get to Minmus? I'm going to try, what I want to do is now, you see these DN and AN? I'm not entirely sure what ascending node, descending node, I'm guessing. Basically what it means to me is just where my orbit and the target orbit, they intercept at, at this point here. So, if I'm burning, if I add a maneuver node here and extend it out, I know that, at some point around there, there can be it's possible you'll get an intercept. No guarantees, of course. Let's try it around this way here. Oh, I already have. Well, no wonder. Okay. So, obviously we're not getting an intercept around then. When will we get an intercept? It's going to send us right out. And continuing to search for a possible intercept. I think we have a little bit too much burn here, so I'm going to ease that back. Now, the only problem is we're sort of brushing by the Mun. Oh, that almost looked kind of promising there. Oh, jeez. Something like that. Oh, but that's not even nearly far enough. Oh, look at that. So ideally, I want to be coming in. Oh yes, having the fun with the maneuver node system, trying to figure out. The only real issue is that the Mun is kind of in the way. Maybe I should wait for an orbit. Or maybe I just take that. Would that be an intercept? You know what? Let's give it a try. Why not? Well, what kind of burn is this? It's going to be a 58-second burn. It's 920 meters per second, and it's 25 minutes away. Well, okay, we have, yeah, we're near full-on power. We'll be able to generate a little bit of power, so I'm going to turn the, we'll lock on to the maneuver node here, and we'll turn the SIS on, and we'll do a bit of time acceleration. Yeah, probably a better idea would be to wait for the Mun to pass by. Wait a couple of orbits, but I don't know, I'm kind of... It ends there, it stops projecting where my orbit might be, so I'm kind of thinking maybe that will be a little bit of an intercept. And maybe what I can do is maybe do a crew report, and maybe a goo sample while we're... okay, I'm a little bit late in the burn. A few seconds, but we'll get this going. And we're gonna have to ditch that and fire off our 2 secondary thrusters, or transition thrusters, I guess, or something like that. Let's see what happens. Okay, the estimated burn is a little bit longer because these engines have a little bit less thrust, but I'm going to be saving the center one for returning home. So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping that these side ones will be able to get me to Minmus, slow me down into orbit, and maybe even more or less land me. And then I can just return on that center tank, and I'll have a wide margin of safety. But even still, I think I could land safely on just that center rocket and return as well. Because like I said, Minmus has such a low gravity. It is really quite forgiving. You don't need a whole lot of delta V to get around within the Minmus sphere of influence. Of course, one thing that does mean is it's got a fairly small sphere of influence, so it can be a little tricky to hit at times. Oh, still, that's going to be getting us a Mun encounter. Ooh. A little bit closer. Ah. Is that going to just be sending us out? Huh. That's, okay. Wasn't exactly what I was intending. Interesting, interesting. Okay, well, we can always do a certain amount of adjustment. So I'm going to kill this. I think we're going to have to wait till we get through this intercept with the Mun to see what happens. How are we doing on fuel? I think, okay, about halfway down those side tanks, so not too bad. We have a ton of energy though, so what I'm going to do here is, while we're within the sphere of influence of the Mun, is I might as well do a crew report. And it's not worth a whole lot, but we can transmit it for 100%, so that's something. And I'll even do goo experiment, because I believe I have an extra canister here. Goo seems to be less dense here, high over the mun. Well, let's keep that data. Okay, continuing on. Now, I may have just sent us out into interplanetary space. I have no idea. Let's add a maneuver. Ooh. Yeah, okay. I don't really want to burn a whole lot of fuel. I think I'm going to only get... Well. I think my best bet was something fairly... Maybe even just a what if I just decelerate a little bit? Ooh. All the lines are getting funky. Okay, let's try this again. What if I just decelerate a little bit? There we go. Maybe we can get an oh, there we are. Yes. Now, what? Oh, a little bit too much. There. Okay, I'm going to go with that. Seems to work. It's only going to be 62 meters per second. That's just a short little 5-second burst of burning. A burst of burning. A rocket. Here we go. Okay, we log in on that. They say it's 13 minutes away. I think it'd probably safely just slowly burn. We're really not doing a whole lot. I just want to get slowly decelerate enough. Oh, so close. There we go. Alright. We have our intercept for Minmus. How are we doing on fuel? Oh, like half tanks on those? That's quite a bit of delta V. It doesn't take much to change our speed. I mean, we're a pretty small rocket. Those are pretty decent little engines. We don't have a whole lot of thrust, but for a small rocket like this, they're really good in the vacuum. Of course, no nuclear engines, but you know, we make do with what we have. We have to research that. And that's the whole point of coming out to Minmus, is to just discover a treasure trove of valuable scientific data. Alright, let's wait till we get right to the periapsis here. How are we doing on power? We're down to 410. I think we're going to have plenty of power. Probably even to send a couple of crew reports back. Alright, here we go. Lock on to the descending node, and yeah, maybe that, no, that's not descending. I forget what that is. Basically, we're slowing our speed, pointing our engines in the path of our direction, and burning at full, so that we can stabilize in orbit here. Oh, there we go. And we'll tighten this up a little bit. We want to get nice and close so that we can scope out our potential landing spot. Ooh, 50. Yeah, that's nice and close. And I'm going to time accelerate. Not too, a little too much. A little less this time. There we go. Much closer. And there. I think that's pretty close. We're 4 minutes away, and we're still over 400 power. All good. And I'm going to try and tighten up, circularize this orbit just a little bit. It'll make it a lot easier to try and scope out a landing spot. Here we go. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this angle that we're coming in. I'd really like to land in one of these lakes or whatever they are, as these other areas can be kind of rough, and at much higher altitude they can definitely be a little trickier trying to land. But I don't really know when we're going to get... I guess I'm just going to do some time... Oh, I'm not able to make heads or tail of that. Let's switch to Minmus for a little bit. And, okay. Where's one of those? Mostly seem to be in the northern hemisphere, and my arc, of course, for the northern hemisphere is really quite high up on the dark side of the planet. I really don't want to do much of a trying to transition. This can be kind of expensive fuel-wise. Although that's not even too bad. Not as much as I thought. Like I said, Minmus is great, because it doesn't take a whole lot of fuel to do much. That's a little too tight for my liking. Yeah, let's do that. It's only 100 meters per second. I think we got plenty of fuel for a little maneuver like that. So I'm going to wait until we're nearly... Oh, and went too far. Always the case. Time accelerating. Okay, here we go. Just ease into it. Not too fast. There we go. Okay, so we're still... Well, it's giving me the 1 hour. All I want to do is get more or less close. It doesn't have to be exactly accurate. As long as we bend our orbit around a little bit. There. Yeah, that'll do. Oh, you know what? I think I just over-twisted it. I just realized there's a lake right there. Okay, well, like I said, we have a... Thankfully, we have a fair amount of fuel. And... Oh, I want to go the other way. Just a bit. Yeah, 31 meters per second. That's not too bad. And then, if we're coming in this way, we should be able to just do our deceleration right over that lake and land, and we're going to be laughing. Way to go, Bill. Nice. Okay, good job. Time accelerate a little bit more, and we're going to actually switch focus back to our ship. No. Focus on the ship. Focus. No target. Jeez, come on. I do find this a little annoying at times. It's easy to switch targets to a planet, but trying to switch targets... you can use the brackets, I think. Well, no, that's only for stuff that's nearby. Well, this is really annoying. Okay. Well, alright, I guess it's not that big of a deal, really. But there we go. Okay. Descending. Let's time to kill our orbit and start heading down to Minmus. There we go. Just right smack in the middle of the lake. That'll give us all kinds of room to maneuver. How are we doing on fuel, guys? Really low on those side tanks, but I mean, it's not going to take us a whole lot. As you can see, I mean, we're now falling at 40 meters per second and accelerating, but slowly. We're 20 kilometers? There we go, 10 kilometers up, and we've only accelerated to about 120, 130 meters per second. It's going to give us lots of time to let's deploy the landing legs. Yeah, we're coming down more or less vertical. That's good. Power is... We're definitely good on power. I'm just going to kill us to about maybe 50 meters per second. Trying to kill a bit of our lateral momentum. And I want to raise these legs, because these legs are not needed for this particular landing. Those are for when we return to Kerbal, which we're going to. This time we're totally returning to Kerbal. Now, I forgot to do some science when we were in orbit around Minmus. We'll be able to do that when we leave, I guess. That's fine. So we still have a little bit of lateral momentum. I want this green reticle on top of that little dot on the compass itself. That's going to mean that we're going to be, our movement is going to be exactly up and down, and we won't be drifting to the side at all. But it's going to be a little bit, I mean, we're still 4 kilometers up, and we're only going down at about 25 meters per second. How are we doing on those tanks? About 20 liters of fuel in each one, so it's coming down to the wire. Although we definitely have a lot of fuel. I mean, just that little tank, that's more than enough to get us home. That's for sure. Apparently, we got a bunch of lateral momentum at some point here when I wasn't paying attention. In just a few seconds, amazing what can happen. All right. Just trying to kill that. We want to just be heading straight down towards the surface. And we're still slowly heading there. 15 meters per second. It's like we're just slowly drifting down. Of course, there's no atmosphere here, so parachutes are not going to help us. It's all going to be on thrusters. Thankfully, with such a low gravity, this is by far one of the easiest moons to land on, and no time acceleration under 3,000 meters. Well, that's probably a good thing. At this point, what I'm really looking for now is for the ground to start going from the far away texture to the close in texture. And it's always more advisable to do that during the day, because it's impossible to see that at night unless you have landing lights, and we haven't researched lamps yet. Now, okay, I think we're starting to see where the actual ground is starting to render. Look at that. I think that's my shadow. I believe that could very well be my shadow. Okay, we're under 1,000 meters. I'm going to be doing a little bit of braking here. Get us into maybe just 20-30 meters per second. And actually I'm going to have to ultimately get down to under 10 meters per second here. But we're still fairly far up, so I don't want to be just continuing to burn all the way down here, because we have fairly responsive engines, so I can kill a fair amount of speed relatively quickly. Say if I just put that on the lowest, just touching the shift, just giving us a little bit of thrust. Oh, this is good. I'm going to give us a little bit more. As you can see, we're slow. We're relatively quickly canceling out our speed here. I'm going to kill it before we get any lateral momentum. Get us back on target, burn us a little bit. I'm just sort of going to pulse us down is the way I kind of like landing. I'm really hoping this is all going to be nice and flat. It seems nice and flat. We're well within landing tolerances here. It's going to be a nice soft landing, actually. Killing engines? Nice. Excellent. Well done, Bill. We've made it to Minmus. We're here. All right. Well, first things first. Let's do a crew report. You recorded the crew's assessment of the situation. Excellent. With 25. Now we can transmit that for 100%. So we might as well. I got lots of power. Yeah, ground control. This is Bill. We have touchdown on Minmus. Science is a go. So let's check out the observation materials bay. While the material samples were possessed, you begin to turn your thoughts to how much Minmus looks like a mint dessert, and have discovered that you are now hungry. Huh. Awesome. I could transmit it for just 20% of 125. No way. We're bringing that. That's science gold right there. Let's observe the goo. Observe the goo. You observe the goo from Minmus surface. That's worth 50. Nice. Let's keep that data. Now it's time for an EVA. Oh, we got a little bit of a... Once again, I'm going to have to reposition that antenna, obviously, because it's been a bit of a downfall. And we've landed. Nice. Can we see Kerbal from here? I'm not seeing it. Doesn't appear to be. Not within our line of sight. If we check the map. Oh yeah, it's like on the other side. Oh well, we can't see our home from here, but we can do an EVA report. So let's take an EVA report. You feel a bit like a superhero when you jump in low gravity. Nice. This is an excellent observation. And we can take a surface sample. The surface seems to be tiny crystal-like grains, very pretty, probably not edible. No, not so edible. Worth 150. Of course, I'm going to keep that, and we got a plant. And what are we going to call this here? What's our site name? Minmus Landing. Oh no! Oh no! I wanted to read plaque. No, let's take it down. Can we? Oh, does that? Oh, does that mean I can't plant it again? Maybe let's try. What if I get back into the ship and then leave again? Come on, get your jetpack's going. So we have a sample. Oh. We have ground sample. We have an EVA crew report. I wanted to plant that flag, but I hit enter before I got the inscription written down. Come on. We really need to research the ladder. The ladder would be a helpful technology in space, especially for these little landing vessels. Okay, let's go board back in here. We have our reviewed data. I want to just try an EVA again. See it. Whoa! Ho, ho, ho. Oh, Bill, you acrobatic, you. Okay. It doesn't appear. Oh, we can. Yes, plant a flag. Alright. Minmus. First landing for science. There we go. We came, we ate, we had to go to the bathroom. I think we need a comma in there. We came, we ate. We had to go to the bathroom. Yeah, that sounds about right. As much as it looked like a mint dessert, it really was not edible at all. That's the scientific discovery that Bill Kerman has made on his first Kerbal? No, the first Kerbal on Minmus. Since we've gotten science. All right. So what else do we have? We have one. This was data from high over the Mun. Okay, we're keeping that data. This one's from the surface of Minmus. We'll get another sample reading in orbit around Minmus, and I'll be able to do maybe another crew report. And if I do a crew report here, oh yeah. So I've already done one of those. That would be slightly less scientific data. Alright, so I think we're ready to go. We have just a little bit of fuel in these side tanks, but that should be more than enough to get us going. So SAS is on. Oh, yeah, I've been burning a bit of SAS, but we still have lots of electricity. So full power it is, and I'm just going to ease right on over to 90 degrees because there's no atmosphere to worry about. We can just shoot for an orbit right off the bat. Oh, and those tanks are gone. Okay. And I'm gonna bring in the landing gear. Oh shoot, we're going way far. All right, I think we can flatten that out a little bit. Like I said, it does not take much to get going around Minmus. Yeah, that's quite the orbit. I don't think I can really flatten it out. We still have like all the fuel left in this tank, so life is looking good for Bill. I think Bill's going to make it home just fine. We might even have enough fuel to even try landing near the Kerbal Space Center. Wouldn't that be awesome? That just might be possible. Alright, well, let's... I'm going to time accelerate a little bit. And since we have this crazy wild orbit, we might as well make use of it. Because it won't take much fuel to circularize this. But I guess what I should do is, while we're still in orbit around here, we'll do the final goo experiment. The goo feels right at home here. Ah, well, high over Minmus. Okay, we're keeping that data. And we can do another crew report. The lake beds seem relatively flat. Perhaps we could land there. What a great observation, Bill. I wish I had that observation before we try landing. Well, I'm going to go ahead and transmit that little sound piece of advice. Thank you, Bill. Now let's actually do an EVA. Oh, yes, I always forget about that. Let's get us back. We don't want to go straying too far from the capsule. And now we can do an EVA report because we're high over Minmus. You recorded your observation about the situation. We're going to keep that data. And that's it. I'm just going to go back inside. And we should have oodles and just all kinds of signs from this mission. We're going to be able to get our electricity no problem. That I have no worries about because we only needed like 13 or something. So I think we definitely got overkill here, but it should give us more options. So a little bit of... Let's straighten this, actually get an orbit. Okay, it's highly elliptical, not exactly what I wanted. Let's try adding a maneuver node here. Ooh, that got wildly larger than I ever wanted. Okay, well, yeah, that will... I'd really rather something that might get us closer rather than further. What if I were to burn? I think it's going to take a lot more fuel to do something like that. Okay, well, I think really the first bit, it really didn't take a whole lot of fuel, and it won't take us a whole lot of fuel. We can basically just burn one end down, so we have basically do an atmospheric burn or something, atmospheric deceleration in Kerbal, and try and save a bit of fuel that way if we wanted to. Like I said, we do have lots of fuel as far as getting home at this point, so let's lock on to our target. I'd like to get back to the Kerbal Space Center, but any landing on Kerbal would be fine. I'm gonna get them all mixed up. The Kerbals, the Kerbans, the Kerman. This is not a very large burn, so there we go. Just go with that. We'll get us into... Whoa, there we go. Maybe I can finally switch focus. Yay, there we go. Alright, and I'm just going to go ahead and try and decelerate us in. You know, it might be a little more efficient if I waited for the apoapsis, but like I said, we got tons of options, all kinds of fuel for this small little rocket, and lots of power too. So those 4 batteries definitely are going to be able to last for a fair amount of time. If I get a few solar panels, that last nearly indefinitely. Okay, so I really want to actually get that fairly... Oh, yeah, we're going to be dipping into the atmosphere here now. We're on our way home. Oh. Okay. Oh, no. That was, danger, kids. Watch out what happens when... Don't time accelerate too much, because apparently I just got flung out of the Kerbal system. What happens if I decelerate? Oh, how am I going to ever get home now? Huh. I guess I better turn the SAS off. Right. How the heck am I going to get home now? Okay, well, we'll set this as target. And what if I just try and angle... Oh. Not so good. That's... I have to really got to figure out... Oh man, this is incredible. So... Oh man, I'm in like this wild... halfway to Duna orbit. Okay, I guess first things first, I'm gonna have to decelerate some. This is not so good. Oh, that might be the solution though. If I can... There we go. That's an intercept. 500... Oh, that's a lot more fuel than I ever intended on burning to get home. Holy crap. Okay. Kids, watch. Don't use time acceleration unwisely. Because this was such an awesome scientific... I need to get this guy home. Wow. We had such a great run. Made it to Minmus, landed. All our scientific instruments are full to brimming with scientific data. I'm going to use like half my fuel just trying to get back into the Kerbal sphere of influence. Oh goodness. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, whew. Alright. We're going to have to wait a year to get back. But that's okay. That's alright. We can do something. I'm going to turn my SAS off, though. I'm not certain the SAS would last a year. We can do a crew report, though, I suppose. High over the sun. Worth 55. I could transmit it. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it, though. And while we're out here, we might as well do an EVA, because I think we can store that as well, because it's from a different... essentially, this is a different biome. So we're getting a ton of science if we ever get back. If we ever make it back to Kerbal, I think we can do it. Like I said, it doesn't take much. All I need to do is not time accelerate through the atmosphere deceleration, and we'd be fine. Is really... Because then... Oh, come on. No. Bill, make it back to your ship. I'm not losing you too. Damn it, Bill! We're not losing you! We already lost Jeb to the Space Kraken. I can't lose another. The lab boys are getting really depressed. They haven't had much to work on lately. There. Come on now. You've gotten in this ship before. There's no fooling around. In you go. In. There. Board. Excellent. Did I actually do an EVA report? Oh, you know what? At this point, I don't care. I'm just happy to be inside the ship. We'll watch the resources. Oh, I better turn the SAS off, otherwise we won't have any power by the time we we make it back to Kerbal. So yeah, an unexpected year-long. We're checking out a year-long orbit. So this is what it's like to be a planet. Yeah. Slowly, it's even at the maximum time acceleration. Still does take a little bit of time. But we're going to be spending a fair amount of time through the Kerbal sphere of influence, so hopefully we don't have to use a ridiculous amount of fuel to get home. Hopefully we can just angle in and not time accelerate through the atmosphere and take advantage of the slowing effects of atmospheric drag. And yeah, like I said, I was thinking at one point maybe we'd be able to land at the Kerbal Space Center. At this point, I just want to get home. I want to be able to make it there. All right, we're moving in. Oh, look at that. I couldn't actually have asked for much better than that. So I'm going to slowly ease into this. This shouldn't take too much fuel to close the loop on this orbit, that's for sure. Alright, there we go. Just want to wait till we get to the periapsis. Thankfully we still have a fair amount of fuel, or power. And, you know, about half tank of fuel. I think we're going to be in good shape. Okay. Let's target our deceleration node here. Yeah, close that loop. Now, going to... Maybe I should wait until I get to the apoapsis. But now at this point, all I need to do is dip that in under 70, and it may take a few orbits to fully decelerate and land, but I think we have enough fuel. We're doing alright. Okay. If I can lock that in. Just a little bit more now. I don't want to overshoot and go flying into the ground, of course. So I'm going to bring this down to 50. Yeah, okay, that seems pretty good. We'll be able to do a deceleration burn while we're in orbit. While we're in this the lower periapsis, and this is just going to really tighten up our orbit, and we should be able to land. Now, the other thing is, I've noticed sometimes that scientific bay underneath, if I land in water, does get destroyed. So I need to try and do my best to land on land. I know what a concept that might be. But in one of my failed launches, I did land in the water with that pod, and the scientific pod was the scientific junior was destroyed. So I think this is pretty good. Let's do it here. Start decelerating. I'm gonna basically just burn off all the rest of the fuel. That was a total 360, and all I wanted to do was a 180. Here we go. Alright, boys. We're moving fast, aren't we? I think we're going counter to the rotation, so... look at those mountains. Those are pretty cool, though. I have to admit. So, able to tighten up the orbit, but I don't think this is going to get us a land landing. I don't know. Yeah, we're out of the fuel now. Who knows? Well, maybe we might be able to land there. Hard to say. Okay, well, our final stage has served its purpose. Time to ditch it. and we're now at the mercy of nature to get us home. I'll drop the landing gear. We can kill the SAS because that doesn't matter a whole lot either. Well, actually, we'll keep it locked on there. We're down to 15 electrical charge. And as we can see, this orbit just should slowly decay. I really can't time accelerate a whole lot because we are fairly well deep in the atmosphere. Let's see what happens. Only one way to find out. Oh, I don't need to deploy the parachute yet, though. Wow, we're just zipping along over the ocean. And here we go, starting to re-enter the atmosphere. This is my only hope is that we might be able to make it here, but who knows? Maybe what if we land on the island? That would be quite the coincidence, because I certainly wouldn't have been able to plan that even if I tried. Thankfully, the Science Junior seems to be more or less re-entry proof. Well, Bill, one way or the other, we're getting some science. We're getting some science home. So pretty much I know the parachute will be able to take care of this. It's just a matter of whether we're going to be able to get the Science Junior to survive or not. But wow, we just might land on this island. I'm going to deploy the chute. Because if any chance we have at landing at that island really depends on us losing just a little bit more speed. Wow, this would be so cool. Just land right about there. Like I said, if I tried to plan an orbit, a deorbit like this, I wouldn't have been able to. That just might happen. Oh, that'll be the savior. Now, it may have survived in the water. I've had some of them that seem to survive. Some of them have not. So I'm gonna kill the SAS now. It's all gonna be gravity. Are we gonna land on the island or in the bay? I think we're pretty much on that island now. I'll watch us land in the lake. Would be just my luck, of course. Avoid an entire ocean. Somehow managed to land on an island, but managed to land in a lake on the island. Oh. So, no, it looks like we're going to be a little bit... We just might be safe here. Oh, this is so exciting. We're going to have so much science. We're going to be able to unlock a couple different trees, I would think. Since some of the science, I mean, this one... If I review that's 125 right there. Not to mention some of the reports, the goo. Oh, life. This is looking good. This was quite a bit of a design challenge, that's for sure. I went through quite a few rockets actually that I started to record, but they really quickly did not make it much further than the launch pad. So I knew this video was going to be long enough as it was. Didn't really need a collage of broken rockets to head it off on. But I think... Oh, this is looking good. We're coming down at about the right speed. Should be at about 100 meters per second when that chute opens. That means we won't really pull apart anything. Oh, look at that. Nice! Nice flat area. Heck, I might even... Can I do a crew report here? Or will it overwrite? Review report, crew reports. Oh no, I don't want to cancel it. We'll just cancel that. We won't do a crew report there. Maybe we can do an EVA report here. I wonder if this will be different. It might not be worth a whole lot, but every little bit... Oh, wait. No, before I go getting out of my capsule, I better remember that I won't be able to really get back in. I don't have a ladder, so we're just going to take what we got. No point trying to squeeze out any more. I think this was a very, very lucrative scientific endeavor, as it was. Here we are, landing. Oh, those new landing struts working just great, keeping us more or less level. Excellent, so we can recover our vessel. Well done, Bill. You've made it to the first moon and back. Jeb holds the record for the Mun, but of course he didn't make it back. Oh, wow, look at that, 689 science. That was, we made 559 just on this one adventure alone. Crew report over the sun is 55. Surface sample from Minmus was 150. EVA from Minmus, 40. EVA was flight over Minmus, 32. 50 for the goo. 30 from the goo over high orbit. Wow. Oh, what a haul. Well, I know where I'm going. Straight for. We're unlocking electricity. There we go. Man, we're going to unlock a whole bunch of stuff at this point, actually. We can get a reaction wheel. Launch stability, side radial decouplers, struts. I think I'm going to have to get struts as well. That's only 45 science. What do we have here? Those are some larger tanks. That would be good, of course. Well, what do we have for... more advanced. Oh, I'm just... You know what? It's almost a shame because I'm kind of just blowing through a lot of the science tree on just one discovery here. Not that I'm complaining a whole lot, but look at that. A thermostat and mobility enhancers. Yeah, why not? That's 90 science. Sure, why not? What do we got? Landing gear, micro struts. I don't really need. Let's research this. And there's the stability. I mean, I've just unlocked a whole bunch of parts. I still have 250 science. I'm really wondering what I should do here. Fuel, RCS fuel lines. Oh, I guess I better get that. That'll give us our fuel lines. Okay, you know what? I think I spent enough science for now. Time to plan our next mission. We have a whole bunch more parts to work with, so that's great. And I'll leave it here. That's been a little trip to Minmus and quite the scientific payoff. I'm Shawn Kenney playing Kerbal Space Program. Thanks for watching. So long for now.